Ashe, Hotep, peace to the fam. Welcome back to the Black History Month series, brought to you by the Black Rose Nation. Like we said, pay attention throughout for many mystery school reveals, February 29th, and be sure to take notes, get these lessons, and receive these degrees. This is number 21. We're on the 2 and the 1. Wisdom, knowledge, all being born to understanding. Now with wisdom, that woman, original woman, the earth moon, but also symbolic as water, the inexhaustible manifestation of knowledge, and those wise words spoken by wise people, a reflection of knowledge, a reflection of knowledge. Now one, being that knowledge, is the foundation in an inexhaustible integrity, because you are conscious and aware of truth. But we're 21, not 1, 2, so we're in the wrong order of things. Because when you act wise without knowledge, that is the hard road. I mean, you're talking smart, you think. But when called out, you'll feel like you're drowning. False truths will evaporate away in the front of real knowledge. You'll become frozen without knowledge of what to do next when you're confronted with real truth. You'll begin to act savage and uncivilized, and you'll become angry when exposed. That's because you're acting wise without the knowledge as your foundation. Now, if you're civilized with a warm wisdom, founded in truth, it can penetrate. It can penetrate into that hard frozenness which you are and gradually melt and mix to build and destroy any untruth, and then have something new born out of that. The 21st letter is U, the you and I verse. You and I versus the universe. In the verses, wisdom before knowledge. Today we're going to speak on Black History Month. Huge point. Freemasonry is Africa's child. Our child. You call the Sphinx. A Sphinx is a Greek tradition, right? A Sphinx has the head of a woman and the loins of a lion and wings of a bird. It gives you a riddle, and if you don't answer that riddle, it will kill you and eat you, because it is a ravenous monster. This is what we're calling the Sphinx. Wrong name, because we're putting wisdom before knowledge. The knowledge is, it is Heru-em-Akhut, modeled after Ma'at, Africa's child. Ma'at, the virtues, not like the Sphinx. Ma'at is truth, justice, wisdom, order, harmony, and the cosmic balance of things. A much different representation than the Sphinx. And when you think of Masonry and these symbols, you begin to see why. They're telling us one side when really they're going for another. Now the head of the Sphinx is also that of a black woman. Now how is that for ancient black woman power? The animal, the Sphinx, has the animal head and the body of a lion. But on top of that head, it has the vulture, which is spirit, and the cobra, which is intelligence. This represents when human animals are educated and trained spiritually and intellectually, is when the mind controls the body. When the mind controls the animal and not the animal controlling the mind. It sounds like a lot like this Masonry stuff. Now, Heru-em-Akhut, on the low side of things, is said to be 30,000 years old. Okay? 30,000 years. An ancient symbol representing Masonry. Now, the grafted man, who attributes the Sphinx to Masonry, origins only go back, the beginning of the graft, 10,000 years. So this has to come from a people who were here before. And those people were all of melanation. Hence black. Hence these symbols are black. Now, in ancient Kemet, there was 3 writing scripts. One was pictorial glyphs. This was written for the masses, and if you knew your environment, if you knew nature, if you knew the earth, the air, the fire, and the water, you could read the glyphs, because it was a symbol of the natural world. And if you knew the natural world, it made sense. The glyphs made sense to you. Also, there was the heretic script. Now, it was just a written form of these symbols, and cursive. So it was hieroglyph, cursive hieroglyph. Also, there was the demonic script. Now, a lot of us hear demonic, and you have your preconceived ideas, just like the Sphinx. Again, untrue. And the demonic script was used for the great love letters or treaties, and it was also in cursive. Now, when all this was taking place, this writing, this was all before there was ever Greece or anything known as a Hebrew or Rome or Latin. None of these things existed. Yet the Sphinx and this knowledge of intellect and spirit controlling existed. Now, early kings in ancient Kemet, this is pre-dynastic. They call it the dynasties of Egypt. Well, this is pre-dynastic. So this is thousands of years before thousands of years ago. There was the glyphs. One of the glyphs, Hetu, meaning temple, and Set was on this glyph. The temple of Set. Way before the Pantheon text, way before the pyramid text. We have these symbols and images used in Masonry because they're a child of us. That old glyph is speaking of the Anu people, the Terra people, and the devotion to one God. This is a glyph symbolizing devotion at a temple to the oneness of God. And this is thousands of years pre-Kemet, pre-dynastic, what you know as the pyramid Egypt. One God, animal mind, quantum control, spirit and nature, writing and text, different forms of cursive. 5000 BC. They had fully developed language, God concepts, writing, quantum physics, doctors, surgeons. Not necessarily what we think of when we think of Black history. Book you may not know, the book of the coming forth by day and night, the Heru-em-Akhut, or the Egyptian Book of the Dead, has symbols of the Tekken, what you might know as the obelisk or the phallus. What some see and call those Illuminati, that big statue in Washington, the Masonic monument. They call it the Masonic monument, but it was in these texts. One stolen from Kemet is in the Vatican City. One stolen from Kemet is in France. One taken from Alexandria, Egypt, is in New York at these temples. See, when wisdom precedes knowledge, you get lost. Someone can take your stuff, and if you didn't know it was your stuff, you start to think it's their stuff. Then we start to hate that which is ourselves because we lost the knowledge of ourselves. The Illuminati, they're after us. But it is you. Putting wisdom before knowledge, you're wise to your enemies. Sure, you may know they're your enemies, but you lack the knowledge of the truth. You're unconscious and unaware because you have no foundation in what the information being presented to you is. No foundation of knowledge. So when you think of Masonry, Black History Month, Masonry being Africa's child, you know about the apron with the mace and the staff in hand, the ornament of office around the neck. These are on the glyphs of all the pharaohs. In pre-Columbian Mayan king in Central America, wearing aprons, carrying a mace in hand, wearing the skull and crossbones on their hat. Same symbols everywhere as you see. Yet we have this different view of what these symbols mean. If you go to the Scottish Rite Temple in Washington, there's pillars and the Sphinx outside before you enter in. And once you enter in, of course, a pantheon. It is a mirror of Egypt. Now, the Grand Master Masons, the Grand Master, Great Grand Master Imhotep, the Great. Now, when one takes the Hippocratic Oath taken by doctors, you profess your oath to, how do you say, Ecalipus, referring to Imhotep. He was responsible for many pyramids, complexes covering 40 acres, approximately 100 city blocks. You say Greece Pythagoras. I say culture vultures. It's Imhotep. You say Greek Hippocrates. I say culture vultures. It's Imhotep. You say Greece Hermes Trismegistus. I say culture vultures. It's Imhotep. These great legends and stories which have passed down on how to make men great, to make people gods, as ye are gods, as Jesus himself was under the order of Melchizedek. Now, what is that? Do your knowledge on that. And Aketi, these symbols are us. Stop thinking they are not. And learn to get your knowledge first and in the right way. To build on this, Professor James Smalls, Freemasonry is Africa's Child. YouTube that. In today's song, if you don't know, you're gonna know. If you don't know, you're gonna know who shows his face to foes, who's harder than hardcore, ain't got more than just a roll. This Geronimo's Tecumseh soul, the RBG bro. Come inside, see a delivered superstition, don't you know? Stop envying American racist portraits, pictures portraying them. The black been blazing them, the MO enslaving them, the MO that's gaming them, my MO be changing them, you blazing them. Well, be a man of the gun game, you TV thug, you shot a shotty with real flames, you ever shot a shotty? Or respect the gun's flame, crosshair or rope in sight when you're learning to aim. M.O. skeet shooting, yeah, I'm honing my skills. M.O. bow making, yeah, not just to kill. M.O. winter camping, not just for the thrill, but fulfill God's will and to be able to chill with only what he gave us, not no other man's will. Cause my M.O. is Mo in Dough. That's acronym for Filling Country Living Mojo. This is M-O-G-O-D. J-U-B-I-L-E-E. Do you see, agree, in the decree to free with the keys to the gate, faith bestows that you see? Say love your enemies, be good to those who hate you. Bless them that curse you and despitefully use you. Will blind lean the blind, yeah, you'll fall in the ditch. But a disciple's not above his master, even if you perfect, you hypocrite. Well, first cast out your being, so you can clearly see and help this brother with you mote you seeings. You believe in conceiving, you unyielding them demons. You not retreating, but you leading through the spirit you feeling in this M-O-G-O-D. Well, J-U-B-I-L-E-E. Well, do you see, agree in the decree to free with the keys to the gate faith bestows it, you see? If you like what you've seen here today, heard here today, subscribe and share. If you believe in self-administered reparations, go get some. Pay attention. Search IRNA. Subscribe and share. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't shared, do so now. This is 21. Wisdom, knowledge, wrong way. Brought to you by the Black Rose Nation. Babla Alui Nu Shabazz, Dr. Carbon, the Medicine Man, Indo, Joel. Peace, love, and happiness to all human family.